I will admit, I've been surprised at how many fortune tellers pop up during my research. The news back in the day seemed to really like covering them. Bizarre accounts of their assistance in solving crimes. We've all seen illusions in TV and movies of this trope, and I find myself wondering if this is something from times gone by, or if it's just more hush-hush today. I tend to lean toward the hush-hush school of thought, but that's neither here nor there. We've already covered one fortune teller here, Miss Mahalie Lancaster. As more come to my attention, I've been making notes on possible video ideas and we'll circle back around to them sooner or later. But today, let's throw another one into the mix. I'll leave you with the words of a reporter from the Nashville Banner from April 27th, 1939. Simon Warner of Shelbyville is either uncannily psychic or a super salesman, and don't ask me which. Everyone loves a good, strange, weird, or bizarre story. Well, welcome to the American South, where dark legends and haunted history lurk around every corner. Where superstition, folklore, and a touch of backwoods magic blend with everyday culture. Some say, in order to survive. This is Dixie After Dark. According to Bedford County, Tennessee archivist Carol Roberts, many people are just interested in interesting characters. She goes on to say, I am honored to be able to help people find the facts that go with the legend, and that has been one of my favorite research things, to take an oral history project and put the facts with it, not necessarily to confirm or deny it, but to add to it. Well said, Miss Roberts, and I couldn't agree more. So, let's see what we have here today. Simon Warner was born November 9th, 1897, the youngest of 6 children to Daniel and Susie Warner in Tennessee. According to his mother in a 1941 interview, Simon was, quote, a peculiar one. She went on to say, I don't ever know what my boy's thinking about. It seems more than one person held that sentiment too. Simon's first wife, Nanny Lou Underwood, felt the same way, and it unnerved her enough that it eventually led to the couple's divorce. She is quoted as having said, I don't want to live any longer with a man who reads my mind. There isn't much information out there about Simon's early life, and even his later years, there's only a few surviving pictures of him from newspaper clippings. Fortunately for us, though, once the newspapers caught wind of what Simon Warner could reportedly do, there is no shortage of articles and accounts after that. Simon claimed once in an interview that it was a rattlesnake bite that ultimately left him with psychic abilities. His main power was the ability to read a crystal ball. Simon Warner's claim to fame was being a crime doctor, someone that used psychic abilities to assist police in solving crimes. It was a trusting police chief that launched this career. And what led that police chief to trust Simon's abilities? Well, in 1936, Simon warned the chief to be careful because he would be shot. And as fate would have it, the chief of police was shot just 2 days later. Regardless of whether you believe in psychics or not, the local police were now believers. It's said that Simon Warner went on to assist the police in several missing person cases. He was a sort of finder of lost things, archivist Carol Roberts says. His biggest claim to fame was helping the sheriff with lost things. Simon's most notable case, the one that got him headlines all across the East Coast, came in 1941. Police approached Simon Warner to help with a missing persons case, that of 41-year-old Lillian Ketchum. According to the Nashville Tennessean report in 1941, Sheriff Will Ogilvie sent officers to consult with Simon Warner. The article goes on to say that Simon gazed into his crystal, then told the officers to look in a brushy area near Ketchum's boyfriend's house, Robert Skinner, near Flat Creek in nearby Williamson County. On January 14, 1941, the officers went to the home of Robert Skinner and found him dead, determined to be self-inflicted. 150 yards from the house, hidden under some dead brush, they found the body of Lillian Ketchum, frozen stiff, with a broken neck. When later asked how he knew where the body was, Simon said, "I looked into the crystal and it told me where to tell the man to look. I don't remember the details. I am just the messenger." You'd have to think that cases like this didn't come about all the time though, right? So what did Simon Warner do when not consulting his crystal ball for the police? Well, he also ran a cafe, as well as a traveling torture and crime museum, according to Carol Roberts, where people could see everything from an eye-gouging chair, various wax heads, and even a brass foot and ankle crusher. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know how a crystal ball works. Perhaps it only shows you what you're looking for. Whatever the case, it seems Simon Warner had one murder that he didn't see coming, his own. On March 22, 1957, Simon Warner was shot 5 times in his home on West Lane Street by an Alabama man named Mose Martin. Mose Martin was known to have been a customer of Simon Warner and his fortune-telling for about a year. Accounts say that Mose Martin went to Simon Warner to find a cure for a stomach ailment, but it seemed to only get worse after whatever Simon did, not better. Officer Durwood Thompson quoted Martin in court, saying Mose Martin admitted, "I shot him because he double-crossed me in voodoo. I would have shot anyone who double-crossed me in black magic like he did." Mose Martin claims that the curse was an invisible string that was tied tightly around his stomach. He says Simon Warner is the one who put the string there. Martin shot the fortune teller in an effort to break that curse, but it didn't work. In Mose Martin's mind, it only got worse. Mose Martin was judged to be insane and sent to live in a mental hospital in Nashville. Years later, before a potential release hearing, Mose Martin told a reporter, quote, "They can keep me here or they can set me free, and it won't make any difference. The string is still around me." End quote. He took off his shirt to show the reporter, but the reporter tells in his article he saw nothing out of the ordinary. Mose Martin was not released. Simon Warner was laid to rest in Willow Mount Cemetery in Shelbyville, Tennessee, beside his parents. Cemetery caretaker Ben Chapman says that people come to visit the grave of Simon Warner all the time. He says a few are wannabe psychics, coming to ask Simon Warner for permission to be fortune tellers. In an even more bizarre claim, Chapman says that the grave site has even been visited by law enforcement officers and even the FBI. Don't ask me. That claim has me scratching my head. Local law enforcement would be one thing, a stretch as it may be. But the FBI? I wonder what's up with that. What did they know? Is it for luck? Something symbolic? Or is Simon Warner still offering his services for those in the know, still helping with missing person cases from beyond the grave?